G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. In this mandolin lesson we're going to take a look at a great traditional jig by the name of the Tenpenny Bit. Now the Tenpenny Bit is in A minor, it's actually in a mode, it's in A dorian, so it shares the same key signature as G major. So we have an F sharp in there and it's a minor mode out of A minor. Alright, so in a moment we're going to take a look at part A and we'll break down each of the measures and we'll have a practice through those and play through part A at the end of that. If you head on over to pickinglessons.com, you will find a copy of the tab we're working from, and it's got your pick and your left hand fingering markings in there, so that will guide you through. You'll also find the second video lesson where we take a look at part B and we break down those measures, and then at the end of that video we'll have a play through the entire form. You've also got some play along and backing tracks too, so as you work your way through the tune you can use those to help your fluency and play along and practice the tune. pickinglessons.com. Alright, let's jump on into part A. Alright, part A here for the Tenpenny Bit on the mandolin. We're in 6/8 time. The Tenpenny Bit is a jig, and so 6/8 time has 6 eighth notes of the bar with 2 quarter note pulses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2 and You'll notice in the first two measures that we have 2 groupings of 3 notes each, and that's pretty standard for the 6/8 time signature. There are some variations as we go through, some quarter notes, and some 16th notes, but we'll get to those in a moment. And just before we get started into part A, it's all played in this position here where our first finger covers fret 2, our second finger is going to be covering fret 3, and when needed the third finger is going to be on fret 5. So if you can watch out for those fingers, we don't need to shift in part A, we're just down in this position. So first finger second fret, second finger third, and then third finger will cover the 5th fret. So from the pickup note we have this pull off, and that's the 16th note. So as we're counting in, we're going to have 1 and 2 and played on the last 8th note of the count in. We'll come back and add that into the first measure in a moment. So the first measure, let's have a look at what our right hand needs to do. It's going to set us up for the entire tune. So basically we're trying to play down on each pulse, and because we have 2 groups of 3 notes within the measure, we end up playing down, up, down, down, up, down. You could try some different approaches, but if you follow this method, down, up, down, you're always picking down on the new beat, so it really helps to emphasize the pulse. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. So those open strings and the picking down, up, down, up, down. Measure 2, we have the same thing for the right hand, but the melody. So here, keep an eye on those fingers like we mentioned. First finger on that 2nd fret and third finger on the 5th. Down, up, down, up, down. Let's put the pickup note to the first 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and one more time. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and Okay, so measure 3 starts out in the same way as measure 1, but the second half of the bar we have these 16th notes in the middle of that beat. So when we have this variation in the rhythm, we're going to pick the 16th notes as a down up, which means the entire grouping of that beat ends up being picked as down, down, up, down. So a little bit different to the first couple of measures. Measure 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Right hand, down, up, down, up, down. Those 16th notes, we're going to play those as down, up. Okay, so first 3 measures with the pickup note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, really watch the picking there in those 16th notes. Try and follow that direction, the down, down, up, down. As we get to a quicker tempo, it's really important to maintain that picking direction. Okay, measure 4. Down, up, down, up, down, 2 groups of 3/8 notes, and again watch those fingers as we spoke about before. So let's put first 4 measures together. 1 and 2 and . Let's keep moving through because we have a little bit of the same. The next bar, measure 5, we have the 16th note in the first grouping this time. So same process as before, they're just flipped in the measure though. So 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Measure 6 here is the same as measure 2. So we'll have a look at the final 2 measures in a moment. Let's put together the first 6 measures from the pickup note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so measure 7. And that was the first note there of measure 8. So measure 7, down, up, down, open string, 5th fret with that 3rd finger, back to the open string. We have 2 16th notes at the end of this measure in this beat, following on to that first note in the 8th measure. So picking hand, down, up, down to begin the next measure. And then measure 8 with that pickup note on the end, same as before, that pull off. And that will take us back into the repeat of part A. So let's try measures 7 and 8 in consecutive order. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so work on each of those measures, watch your picking, make sure the direction you're following there is as suggested, or if you modify it, just be aware of the rhythm still and where the pulse is. Okay, so as you notice, the left hand doesn't need to shift position. We're there in that open position, 2nd fret for our first finger, 3rd finger on the 5th, and that 2nd finger in the middle there on fret 3. So get to know those measures. What we'll do now is play through part A, and we'll play through it twice. Once we hit the repeat, we'll go back to the beginning there where the repeat signs are. We'll go nice and slow from the top with the pickup notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Repeat. Okay, so if you head on over to pickinlessons.com, you will find the copy of this tab that we're working on, both part A and part B for the arrangement. It's got the picking marks in there and your left hand markings as well. As part of this lesson, you'll also find some play along and backing tracks at 3 tempos, so as you're getting to know the tune, you can use those to improve your playing. And you'll also find the second part of this lesson where we take a look at part B, we break down each measure, and we'll have a slow play through the complete part B, and then we'll put together the entire tune and play through part A with the repeats into part B, nice and slow. So head on over to pickinlessons.com and I'll see you there.